Hi, I'm Zoe Lehman. I'm here with BTV covering the premiere for The Rewrite. Mark Lawrence is here, Hugh Grant is here, other actors and cast members. The family is here, the students are here. We're all so excited and ready for the premiere.
Bright fluorescent light is bearing down from above, and I won't get through the night if you don't give me a little love. I lose my patience quick, and I don't know what to do.
Well, late 70s, Binghamton was a little bit more hippie-ish, the campus anyway. The Peace Quad sort of symbolized what the ethic going on. People looked a little bit more like they had just gotten here from Woodstock. But it was a terrific time. I lived on campus the first 2 years. Then I lived on Oak Street on the west side, and then Floral Avenue across from the beautiful graveyard. And I had a great time. I met my wife here, most of my best friends, played in a band, met the most important professor in my life here. And coming back has been great. I've come back a few times to do some talks to film students and stuff. When we came back for the film, we shot here probably for about 4 days. I would love to have shot the entire film in Binghamton, and we couldn't for just bizarre reasons of how movies are financed. But coming back, it was both very, very familiar. In town, we were around Court Street and Johnson City and the Red Robin Diner, and all of that was very, very familiar and looked pretty much like what I'd remembered. Campus had changed more dramatically. But I was just boring the hell out of everyone on the film crew, pointing out where at each spot this is where my wife and I had our first date, and no one really cared. But it was very moving for me. For Hugh's character, he's supposed to have fallen from the heights of Hollywood and wind up in a sort of out of the way place. And as long as I was doing that, I figured I would be able to write about Binghamton with a degree of authenticity. So, and I love doing something for the school and for the city if that's the way the film turns out, helping either the school or the community. That's terrific. So, it was a combination of those things, of wanting to be able to get some reality into the script from what I knew and having lived here. Having said that, answering that prior question, some of the things in my head as I was writing the script no longer exist on campus. We took Hugh to number 5s, which we could, the big difference was I could afford to go there, so when we were with the film crew. And then there were places that we went, we went to Lost Dog, which was not here when I was here, and I wish it was. The Binghamton Mets were also not here when I was here, and if they had been, I probably still would not have graduated. I would have spent most of my time there. And then the Red Robin Diner was a big one. So going in there with Hugh was kind of a surreal, interesting experience that tied various aspects of my life together. And there is someone, they mentioned it in the paper today, Hugh took a photo with a lovely woman in a booth who recognized him, and I snapped it on my phone, and I took her email address, and I unfortunately misplaced it because we were in the middle of shooting and I was busy. So if you know who you are and you want the photo, I will be very happy to email it to you. As I said, I was wrong about some things. I had written into the script this beautiful grassy area where everybody used to hang out and play guitars, and it's now a loading dock outside the Union. But but other than that, it was really just memory.
Still never had a Speedy?
I actually have never had a Speedy. I have to admit that. I never really even had a desire to have a Speedy. I got a good look at them, and I've never done it.
Hi, can I ask, when you sit down to write a score, is this your first full score? Or?
Yeah, I've done a few others since this movie was actually made, but this was the first time that I'd done a full-length original score for a film.
Is it just the script that you need to know going into it? Had you visited here? Did you have a sense of the campus or what it would be like, or was it just sort of from the script that you started with?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, I guess if the script is good, which it was, the campus is kind of captured pretty well here, and not just being here, but having heard him talk endlessly about his time in college and his time at Binghamton made it really easy for me to understand like what the feel is and the tone of the movie, I'd say. The movie is very all about kind of what it feels like to go from being maybe this big Hollywood writer surrounded by the glamour of whatever that is, to coming to a place where you learn to love it for the people that are there and, you know, the subtleties of the town and everything. So we tried to kind of thread that through the music. It's not a big orchestral score. There's not tons of strings or sappy emotional content. It's like totally all about, you know, themes and melodies that are played on piano or on guitar, and, you know, very, very stripped down. And
It's a great score. I had one other score that I like as much in all the movies I've ever done, and I will eventually, he will, I'm sure, pass on my next project. I won't be able to get him.
As far as screenwriting, as well as just based on you being here as a student yourself, what would you say to people who are here now?
Great. I was a literature major here, and it was a great department. Just between reading those books and spending time with those people really helped me specifically with what I do as a writer, but just in terms of a worldview. And I think this is a fantastic town because as a student, it's not so big that you can't own it. We really felt like it was ours. And between the combination of the education that you get here and the people who are here, it was just a great way to go into the rest of your life and there was a little bit of magic in your life from it. And in terms of screenwriting, it's very, very simple. You have to just keep writing. Unfortunately, with writing, there's no shortcuts. If there are, someone should please tell me. But it's really writing and rewriting and watching the movies that you love and getting what you can from them and then going back and writing more.
That was great. Thank you, Mark.
We actually can't be too close together. We don't like each other.
Questions?
It did happen.
Any questions for him, guys? So what's it like working in Binghamton compared to other places?
Well, we weren't actually working at Binghamton. We were shooting at LAU, so don't murder Mark for that. Steve, your brothers went here, right?
Yes, two brothers and a sister-in-law. One of my brothers married, also a Binghamton graduate.
So this is the first time you're here? Or have you
It
been
is
here
not. I have been here. I came to visit my older brothers, except I can't tell you stories about what happened when I came to visit.
before?
Can I ask you guys, as actors, I mean, a lot of times I feel like actors have really non-traditional academic careers. Like, did you all go to undergrad somewhere, or was it like, to research what it's like to be a college student?
You guys want to answer that first?
I did go to college. I went to NYU. And everything that they preached there was that to be a good actor, you have to have a very well-rounded education, not just acting. Because they said, how often do you play an actor on stage? You're always playing a teacher, you're playing a writer, you're playing a politician, all these different things. So it's good to be very well-rounded.
Can you talk about what it was like to work with, obviously Mark's a BU-alum, so we're sort of really interested in what it was like to work with him as a director.
Well, Mark is such a sweet guy to work with. Really, he's so considerate. He's definitely an actor's director. And yeah, he's great.
He's also by far the calmest director I've ever worked with.
Oh, that's
Most of the
true.
time directors
Oh my
are
God.
like a Tasmanian devil flying around, but it was probably going on the
Super
inside,
zen.
but on the outside he was very chill.
Is he always wearing a sweatshirt? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And
Is that all?
a baseball cap. So when I saw him without a baseball cap today, I was like, who are you? Where's Mark Lawrence?
So what do you guys think of the Binghamton area? What's your impression?
It's a great campus.
Beautiful. Love all the snow right now, too.
We drove up from the city. It's a beautiful drive.
Good. One more question.
It's like to screen a film on a college campus as opposed to somewhere in Hollywood or in New York.
The excitement, the energy here is unique. There is a tremendous amount of excitement, and it's exciting for us to be here also.
Yeah, the audience is super supportive. And they're all just, we did a screening and a Q&A at LIU actually just a couple days ago. And there were a lot of film students there, so they were just really enthusiastic and kind of just getting off on like the first step in their journey to being a filmmaker. And it was really cool.
I'm excited to hear the audience's reaction today, especially because there's such a close relationship to the school, so it'll be fun.
Great. Thank you so much.
Generally speaking, it's a nightmare. No, he's always been lovely. What can I say? I mean, I think we're both very neurotic, and that helps.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of anxiety between us, and fear of illness, particularly terminal illness and death. That's the kind of atmosphere that hovers over our romantic comedy sets.
Another question?
Mark said yesterday that you're very particular about your scripts. What is it about his scripts that you find over and over again appealing?
Well, they just make me laugh, and
They're pretty short, too.
short is good. I think they come from a good place. I said just now when he was given this thing by the university that his mother once told me the point of Mark is he's a good person, and so there's a sort of good heart behind his films. And I find that very charming.
Another question?
Hugh, how do you feel being in Binghamton, having the premiere here with so many students waiting to see you and Mark?
There was a dot.
Like, how do you feel being here in Binghamton? Like, all these students are so excited and everything.
Yeah, no, well, it's marvelous and very exciting, and I think it was Mark's idea. Mark, why are we here?
I don't actually completely remember the etymology of this. I mean, we shot here, and I went to school here, and everybody at the administration has been terrific. Harvey, do you know how we did? Did we suggest it to you? Did you suggest it to us, or was
Marissa was busy. No, I think that this was an idea that Greg Delvisio came up with, to have a premiere here, to do it a big stage, a big venue, have as many students as possible to see what the future might lie for them, to see a Mark Lawrence film.
Okay.
One more.
Can you talk about, obviously when you're in a bigger city, there's a little bit less of a kind of excitement when somebody like you're around. You came to Binghamton, I just remember everybody on social media went crazy. Can you talk about your experience actually shooting here? And what was it different than when you're sort of hanging out in New York, or is it?
Well, we weren't here enough. I mean, I wish we'd shot more of the film here, but we didn't have much money, so that was sad. But the time we did spend here, yeah, it was brilliant. It's where did we go? We went to the Red Robin. I love the Red Robin. We investigated speedies, and that was part of my research as an actor. And we came to the university, we looked around, filmed a bit, and I really wish we'd spent more time there. I must say, I wish we'd shot the whole film.
We wanted to shoot the whole film here. It's strange the way Hollywood financing works. That it actually was less expensive to shoot the film in New York City or around New York than it was to shoot here.
Hugh, what was your first impression of the area?
You can be honest.
No, I mean, Mark had talked it up a lot because he's a mad keen on his old university, and I found it incredibly charming and fascinating at the time I was here. But it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't long enough.
Did you actually eat a speedy, or did you just
I think it's the same thing.
You're about to walk into an auditorium with a bunch of students. What advice may you have for them trying to get into your career paths?
Don't go to law school, and if you do, drop out after 1 year. That's the only concrete thing I can tell. I don't think there's no formula for it, and it's just if you want to write, there's no shortcut, unfortunately, to writing. It's just going to involve a lot of writing and a lot of rewriting.
Actually, the film itself is the best possible answer to that question.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I forgot we did that. Yeah, so yeah, I guess I could watch the film. Yeah, there may be some ansers in there. Yeah.
Thanks folks.
Everyone.
We got a crowd waiting for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
you guys.
Mark, you've done 4 movies together now. How was this one different than the other 3?
We had no money. Yeah, it's very sad that we couldn't, for instance, film it all here. It really is sad, but I don't know what happened really. Why did we not have any money?
Because it's a strange thing that when you film a movie on location, there's what are called film hubs around the country, and like Atlanta is one, and New Orleans is one. Binghamton is not, for some reason. So what that means is that if you are going to shoot up here, you have to bring the entire crew up. So as opposed to if you're going to shoot in one of those film hubs, you bring what are called your department heads a little bit. But in terms of family. My wife Linda and my son Linus are in the film briefly at Speedy, and, but I don't think anything more directly.
Well, hang on. You told me, and obviously it was bullshit, but you told me that whole speech I make about the origins of Paradise Misplaced being a story to tell.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He wrote Paradise Misplaced, and it was for his son, Linus.
No, actually, well, I wrote Paradise Misplaced was the first screenplay I ever wrote, and it was bought but never made at 20th Century Fox. And if you work there and still are interested, I think he's still on the rights. But Linus is 11 and is brilliant in many ways, but was concerned about mortality. And so that became connected.
I wonder where he got that from.
Yeah. I told him to be concerned about mortality, that's why. What is it, can I ask what it is you're working on and trying to do? No.
You can always ask, I don't know if I'll tell, but currently I work in higher education.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I have any special insight on that, although I do think that certainly that trend, Marissa's character, I'd read a bunch of articles about people going back to college at her stage of life, and that seems incredibly cool to me. I actually think that to some extent the education system is backwards that way, because when you're 18 or 19 or 20, there's a lot of different thoughts on your mind, and it's sometimes hard to concentrate in class, but when you get to my sort of decrepit age, you could really benefit from sitting in class and learning some things. So, but I kind of agree with Marissa that it's never too late. Orla?
Yes! My question for you, other than if I can get a selfie with you later, is what was your favorite place in Binghamton when you were here that you visited?
Well, it's hard to choose. But I think in the end it might be the Red Robin.
Hi, I'm Zoe Lehman with BTV News, and I'm here with Mark Lawrence, the writer and director of The Rewrite and many other amazing films. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for letting me be here, Zoe.
Okay, so just a couple of questions. So I heard you were in a band here called Bondi, and so you dabbled in the music industry, and your son Clyde worked on the score for The Rewrite and other movies that you've written as well. So talk to me a little bit about how is it to be able to work with your son and how he inspires you with the music and you inspire him.
Well, it's very easy for me and Clyde to work together because I was a really mediocre musician and he's a really great musician. So there's nothing competitive about it. But we share enough DNA so that it's very easy for us to talk in catchphrases, almost like people don't even know what we're saying. But if I'll say to him, you know, it's like the middle eight on that Traffic song. He goes, yeah, I know what you want. So it's almost never full sentences. And it's just wonderful to be able to do that. And to have an incredibly talented composer in your house is really an advantage. And we've always gotten along really well. And I hope I'm able to get him for future movies because I think he's going to be doing a lot of work.
Very cool. Okay, so you met your wife at Binghamton. And did that inspire you for the writing and the script of this film? And also, did it inspire you to make The Rewrite now?
It didn't specifically inspire me, but the idea of falling in love in Binghamton was something that I was familiar with. So to that extent, then I would say that The Rewrite reflects that. Yes.
Pretend it all is just the same. Hard to tell when you're in it. If anything has really changed. And I know it's cool, yeah, it's alright to play this charade for just one night. But when the time has come, oh, could we take it back to where it started from? Ooh, could we take it back to where it started from.
Mr. Lawrence, are you especially proud of Mark Lawrence making this film versus his other films?
I'm proud of him making this film, but I'm proud of all the other films he did also. I'm a big fan.
Is this especially though special too because he went to school here, he built a whole life here?
Well, this film is a little more personalized in his writing and what he says through Hugh Grant. So it does have a little bit of a special meaning, but
and did you know from at what age did you notice that he was going to be making films and screenwriting and producing? Did you see it forever or when he was little?
shortly after he dropped out of law school.
It's a good answer.
He went to law school for 1 year.
And
then he got a job as an editor in a magazine. And shortly after that, he got on Family Ties with Michael Fox. And he was there for 7 years. And that, when he was there, I knew he was moving on because he did some wonderful things.
And do you go to you and your wife, do you go to all the premieres? Do you travel all over with him?
We don't miss a thing. No matter where it is, we're there.
So you're very proud parents.
Extremely proud.
We'll start with Clyde, I guess. Can you tell me about how it was to work with your dad and with the band making the score for the rewrite?
It was pretty cool. I mean, it was a little bit different than doing some other scores, not just because I was working with my dad, who was the director, but also because it was the score was intentionally a lot like the kind of music that I like to write anyway. It was very piano based. It was pretty stripped down. It was a little bit bluesy. It was a little bit funky. It was a little bit jazzy, and it was a ton of fun that I got to have the whole band playing on the score. We all went into the studio together. It wasn't a bunch of hired musicians. It was songs from our band that are on our albums and stuff, and that we're going to play tonight at our show. We're actually just featured in the movie, so it was kind of a cool, surprisingly large overlapping between the score stuff and the non-score stuff than usual, I'd say. Let's go straight. So where are we going to? Where are we going to? Where are we going to?